as if
systems
they're
that you have to work
labeling
in.
people like on their forehead, like who they are.
Yeah, I just like
And there's this huge like fight
supranational.
like for identities and what people represent, and
I mean, we're already in
telling
an identity
people they
crisis as
are.
it is, and that's a personal identity crisis. Like,
Yeah,
why are we trying to create now
on an
political identities?
individual level instead of
Yeah.
like being forced into this collectivist system,
Well, collectivism is good to some extent, but I think
like
I mean, this is
tribalism.
where a lot of people on one side of the aisle are critical of, where they come forward about the
Yeah,
globalism and blah, globalism is terrible.
like
I
New
don't
World
think
Order.
I don't think globalism is essentially bad. I think we should come together globally. I mean, as people, not
As
politically.
people, like to
Yeah,
advance like humanity as a whole.
right. I think that
Because
people should
yeah,
have things much more easier globally. Like
yeah.
we can we need
To
to
be
let
honest, we
go
are.
if we want to conquer the stars, or not conquer, that's the wrong term, but if we want to
Yeah.
expand ourselves further, because they're talking about the new space race and all this stuff, then we need to start recognizing that, you know what, we need to put our differences aside and get along. Now that's what I mean by globalism. But
That's what
this
we need. We're
political
8 billion
concept,
people on the planet. Like it would be a shame if we can't like advance humanity as a whole. Like we have to solve like housing and food.
dude,
and
there's like world poverty, world starvation, or sorry, world
wars and
hunger,
stuff.
diseases. Until we sort those things out, get the hell
Yeah.
out of here with your crazy global political
Exactly.
schemes. Like, if it didn't work, like, what do you think? Like, this is what I mean. Like, the bigger the company gets, it doesn't get better. Like, I give you an example right now. I just had this example right now. This is maybe a bit of a tangent, but it actually fits. I've been going back and forth with Amazon because I'm ordering things and stuff like this, and Amazon sucks. It sucks. I'm back and forth with the sellers. Oh, your product got canceled. I remember the day when Amazon started. It was like that. It was good.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
products
You got
were quality.
stuff like the next
It was
day, and
no, but the products were quality too. It was quality products you would get. Now it's some bullshit that's printed out, God knows where. You get it and you're like, what is this? It's not what it looks like.
it
It's
is.
all this
But to be
crap.
honest, that's the world as a whole. Like that, like in general, they're making like cheaper products. You know, like
Yeah,
people.
Bezos should be paying
60s or
attention
something.
to the company that made him a billionaire rather than thinking about the stars, because maybe his head is in the stars and he's not really thinking clearly. And this is the
Sending
problem.
his wife to like into space, hoping she won't come back.
The problem is that you're too big. You're thinking too big, and then you let everything go, and then you just middle management
Yeah, once
run
you
everything.
reach that point, is that it? Just
Well,
let
no, the
everything
problem is
go?
that the company gets too big that it's malfunctioning.
Oh,
It's not running
unmanageable.
properly. Yeah, it's not run properly.
It's like these
This is what-
empires that you mentioned before.
Yeah, that's why they fall. Have we learned nothing from history? Like, bigger is not always better.
To be honest, I'm
Like,
still
just let
pissed
it
off
be.
that
Instead, it is.
I'm pissed off that Microsoft got rid of MSN Messenger and went on to Skype, which
Well, they bought Skype,
yeah,
and now that's going to
I
become
didn't
something
need
else. They've
Skype
changed that. Yeah.
back then. But whatever, they have to go.
Anyway, to wrap this up, I just wanted to remind people that, there could also be a power vacuum, as we're witnessing a power vacuum in European leadership. Clearly, Germany, the United Kingdom, and France have recently lifted restrictions on Ukraine's use of long-range
Right, I have
missiles
an
against
article on
Russian
that.
territory, and that's a bit scary. And I'm just going to reference the fact that German Chancellor Friedrich Merz announced that Germany, along with other Western allies, has removed range limitations on weapons supplied to Ukraine. This policy shift allows Ukraine to target military positions inside Russia using Western-supplied long-range missiles. We already know what Putin said not too long ago, that they're sidling more and more into interfering to the point where this could be considered by him, at least, as he stated, as a declaration of war. And that's kind of a scary thing, because I don't think that the German chancellor speaks for all Germans, and I don't think also in the United Kingdom, Prime Minister Keir Starmer in July of 2024 stated that the UK government would permit the defensive use of Storm Shadow missiles on targets inside Russia. That's also scary, because I don't think a lot of Brits want war with Russia either.
Inside Russia, so that's not like defending, that's actually attacking.
Well, these missiles are coming from the UK, and this requires intelligence and operation. Where does that come from? The Brits. It doesn't come from Ukraine. This was the whole problem with the long-range missiles. What were they called? The Taurus. I think it was the
Taurus. That's it.
Taurus
Yeah.
missiles that were provided through the US, but then they stopped it because this was really verging on a World War III scenario. And this is scary because it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's messed up.
You're declaring war
It's
here.
messed up.
Are we going bananas here? Do we know who we're
I tell you
declaring
what,
war
it's
against?
well,
I
Germany is
mean,
like
I don't
part
know.
of NATO, right? So, like, before calling shots, shouldn't they have spoken to everyone else?
Well, this is the problem. These are the representatives that have been voted by the people of their own nations, and now they're coming together to consolidate into creating a
What
new
do they
sort of a
represent?
European
All of the
defense
EU.
force, right?
Yeah,
And similarly, in May 2024, President Emmanuel Macron, who was the first to publicly also mention how Europe now needs to defend itself and forget about the US or relying on
yeah.
the US, he authorized Ukraine to use SCALP missiles to strike targets within Russia, marking a significant departure from previous restrictions. And these developments represent a coordinated effort by Ukraine's key Western allies, right, to
Yeah.
enhance its defensive capabilities amid the ongoing Russian aggression, as they see it, which moves closer towards a potential war. And now,
It's messed
you
up.
don't have, like, we've already been labeled as Russian bots or whatever, which we're not. The thing about us is, like, here's the thing, folks, right? I don't take a side on this. I think it's terrible that the Ukrainians are suffering, obviously, and it should not be the case. I'm completely anti-war, but here's the other thing. I don't think to end the war, you should start new wars, right? And I don't think you should be starting a new war by poking a bear. Like, that's just crazy. Like, we're not
Yeah.
talking about, Moldova is in conflict
It's like
with
we're bringing war
Ukraine. That's
on
a
our
different
own
thing.
turf. Up to now, like after all these decades, well, like aside from Bosnia and Afghanistan and all that, we haven't had a war within Europe, like most of Europe, since like World War II or something like that. We don't know what it's like. Like, this was like from our
Nobody
grandparents.
knows, and they're going to crap their pants, because I'm telling you, if you want to provoke a war with Russia, because everybody's like playing this card of like saying, oh, they have more nuclear. Look, I don't think they're going to drop nukes or anything like that. That's just insane. I don't think anybody, because first of all, that's detrimental to them because of the
I don't
fallout.
think nobody
They're not gonna do
expected like Hiroshima and
No, but I don't think, first of all, to drop nukes on any European city or anything like that would be stupid, because there's the fallout,
That'd be
which
messed
would hit
up.
Moscow. And that's like
Yeah.
Chernobyl 2.0.
Yeah,
Like, nobody
yeah.
would. So that's
It
not
would
going to
just
happen.
set off,
But
like,
we don't
all
need a
the
war with
chain reaction.
a great power, which is Russia. And we don't need a war with another great power like China. Like, China has been smart not
That's
to get
for sure.
involved, although there is the Taiwan situation, which has always been a bit